Alright, well I hit go record on the lazy intro.
Go gadget record.
Yeah.
Alright. Well,
You're just gonna leave your Destiny going?
nah, I'm gonna.
Oh, okay.
Silence! Okay, so. Introductions, huh? So this could be the one intro we actually get right.
Could be.
This could be our moment.
Moment to shine. How you gonna do it? Well, let's see.
Well,
I mean, I guess, there'd be like the whole, hey, I'm Dave.
Right.
And you're Jared.
Yeah, I get to say I'm Jared Hawkins.
Yeah.
We do use last names, right?
I don't know, do we? I mean, does Yoda have a last name?
No, he's a lot like Prince was, He was, good gosh. It took, like 30 years before we even learned what his race was?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, we did learn that, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, we did.
Is it? Do we know it?
Well, we know he's, 900 years old or something?
I don't know.
Is this us establishing that we're geeks?
I don't know. It could be. We're just nerdy about it all. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Although, if you're going to, for me, you're going to have to switch off Star Wars, because, I mean, I like
comics.
Star Wars, but I don't know. I'm not super into the lore of it.
You're not a walking Wikipedia?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No, I can talk about comics or movies in general, like broad strokes.
Okay, so as
Even
an
in comics,
introduction to
broad
our
strokes.
podcast, right?
Yeah.
Broad strokes. I like that because just us talking.
It's misogynist enough for you? Oh.
Well, no, it gives you a flavor for what we're capable of because we're talking pop references, pop culture references.
Mm-hmm.
Not those little pop figurines, because those guys are just taking over the world slowly but surely. Could you imagine walking into somebody's house and they're like, I have all of them. Holy crap!
Yeah,
the properties.
Well, see, the only thing I have all of is the Lego minifigures, the last couple series.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even the new Batman Lego ones. I spent like 40 minutes in the store.
Now you passed on to your kids the ability to feel through the packages, so you don't buy duplicates, right?
Yeah, my oldest helps me out now.
That's classic.
Hey, cut the time in half. Come on, guy, get in here.
You check that box, I got this box. Here we go. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, comics, movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have as much time for TV anymore.
Well, see, therein lies our knowledge because of our age, without giving away our ages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My knowledge goes back before my birth. I mean, I can go freaking Leave It to Beaver. I can go back pretty far.
Okay.
Dick Van Dyke Show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got it. It's not like you like somehow existed before your time.
No.
It's that you grew up being exposed to the old stuff.
Absolutely. I have a mother that very much exposed seems like a dirty word, but it's the right word. It's the proper context. Mm-hmm. She, funny I can't use that word now. She introduced me to Star Trek, which was...
I thought you were going to say like the Golden Girls or...
No.
Like,
no, her tastes skewed more toward John Wayne movies, Star Trek, the original series, quite a bit of sci-fi, actually, because I spent a lot of time watching, as a kid, Quantum Leap, oh shoot, Battlestar Galactica, the original stuff from the early 80s. But no, and also the other thing she gave me was Roger and Hammerstein movies, musicals. I'm sorry, musicals. Which you'd think, oh man, that sounds like a homosexual upbringing. No, not at all.
Culture.
I enjoyed to this day, I still enjoy Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I introduced my wife to Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Mm-hmm. She was just like, holy crap, when is this from? Because this is so, I mean, the guys are like throwing the girls over their shoulders and walking off with them. And she's like, this is appalling to any woman of any standing, type of thing.
Right. Different time.
Yeah, well, that's what I told her.
The only bride type movie I'm familiar with is Princess Bride. The Princess Bride, I know that.
Which I will admit is a good flick, too.
But see, in terms of cinema, I grew up on horror movies.
And that is where we differ.
and like the 80s action movies.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I watched, Cobra and...
Yeah.
Like, all of the... Man,
you're not saying that as a horror movie, just action flick.
Yeah, like as an action flick, like all of the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, all of the Chuck Norris movies, all of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, all of the Death Wish, all of the...
Okay, so, yeah, we're good.
Tango and Cash, all those...
Tango and Cash was like 90s, man.
Well, no, I'm just saying, all the way up through there, I was watching action movies.
How hot was Terry Hatcher in Tango and Cash?
Yeah. I can't think of what's his face now. He's the bad guy character actor. He's one of those guys. The guys that everybody knows, but nobody knows who he is. But he's the guy that got the duct tape shoved over his mouth, and then Kurt Russell shoved a grenade down the front of his pants and kicked him down the stairs.
See, my mind immediately, since we're talking about that time frame, goes to Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins?
No, not Anthony.
Oh.
He was like the bad guy. He was the token bad guy in every B-rated flick, it seemed like, in the 80s and 90s.
There's like 20 of those. 20 token
he was the Hopkins bad guy from Waterworld. Had the eye patch.
Oh.
Actually, I believe he passed away not too long
Yeah,
ago.
no, I can't think of his name.
Wasn't it Hopkins?
It was like Rutger Hauer.
Yes.
Like all those guys.
Big name from that time.
I love Rutger Hauer.
Mm-hmm.
Blade Runner, Clockwork Orange. All those movies. But the horror movies, I mean, even the bad stuff. Like, I love the bad stuff. I grew up on watching Puppet Master and Critters and Demonic Toys. And...
Okay. I will share with you.
I mean, there was the mainstream, Halloween and all that sort of junk. But,
yeah.
Trick or Treat.
Nightmare on Elm Street and such.
Nightmare on Elm Street, sure.
Yeah. Maybe you saw this, maybe you didn't. The one horror film, and I'm thinking this is what turned me off. Okay, I have 5 sisters. Mm-hmm. And the one sister, when she would babysit, she worked at the local theater. And took me to the theater once while she was babysitting me. And what was it? Had me watching... I must have sat through the My Little Pony movie like 3 times in a row. Mm-hmm. Got old. Mm-hmm. And so some friends of hers showed up at the theater and decided, well, since he's bored doing that, let's bring him into this. The name of the movie, and tell me if you know this one, was called The Gate.
Man, I love The Gate.
The Gate.
I have The Gate at home.
Okay, so...
You want to watch it? We can watch it when we get back.
I don't think I could because...
All the stop motion weird little ghoul guys.
As a little dude, I forget how old I was.
It's like an hour and 20 minutes long.
I wasn't that wee, but it was my first foray into B-rated horror.
Yeah, horror movies, yeah.
Holy crap, dude. I was scarred for life after watching that movie.
Yeah.
I was just like, I still remember the part where he's removing the flesh from his face and putting it in the sink, the bathroom sink and stuff, and I'm like, no, I can't watch it.
Now you got me wanting to rewatch The Gate.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, the whole premise of the movie was it referred to one of the 7 gates of hell being in the backyard.
Right, yeah, being in the backyard of the kid.
Of this house.
Yeah, the kid's backyard.
And this house is just like completely demonic and psychotic crap going on. So,
yeah, that was a big one, and ever since, man, and there's so many movies like that. Like, I loved Demonic Toys, thought it was hilarious. Baby Oops a Daisy, Baby Oops a Daisy, and that movie's got like a revolver and Oops a Daisy, bang bang,
See, and I grew up with a buddy of mine.
Phantasm movies.
It must be a David thing. because I grew up with a buddy of mine, David. He, like walking to school, on average, 3-5 city blocks, if not more, to get to school. And he would share with me the entire story of Freddy Krueger.
Mm-hmm.
Like his backstory, his history, or Jason, or any of that. I mean, he loved horror movies, slasher movies, big time. Mm-hmm. And I'd just listen to these, and I'd ask questions, and I'm like, doesn't, nah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it kind of depended. Like, I didn't have a problem with movies that, like, were bad. It was like I had more problems with the A-list movies. You know, the sort of AAA titles. You know, like I would watch Puppet Master, and you're like, oh yeah, sure, the guy's killing people, and he's embedding their souls in these dolls, which he commands, and they start out not doing bad stuff, but then like doing bad stuff. It kind of depends on who's the Puppet Master. I got to go back and rewatch that series, but there's all kinds of cool puppets. I was going to say,
how many movies are there?
At least 5, right at the top of my head. There's at least 5. But then you would go up to Amityville, like I watched the first Amityville, and the demon thing comes out of the basement. I'll never forget the first time. Like, I didn't find the movie scary because the demon came up out of the basement, and I thought it was creepy, all the way up to the point where the demon came out of the basement. And you never saw the demon. It was just the camera. So the camera came up and it was making, like the demonic music was playing and it was drifting around through the house. And it was supposed to be like, you're looking through the eyes of the demon as it drifts around this house.
Okay.
And it goes down the hall towards the front door, and hanging on the wall is like a crucifix. And it's drifting down the hall, and as it drifts down the hall, it stops and turns toward the crucifix and is like, like it can't get by the crucifix. So the camera drifts down back into another room because they moved in, and like grabs a blanket or something off the furniture, and then like goes back down the hall, and then the sheet goes over the crucifix, and then the demon can go down the hall. So I'm like, okay, wait, so either the visual thing is what the demon can't get over, or the power of Christ cannot penetrate cotton linen.
That's what I was going to say. What's this blanket made out of?
Yeah, I was like, I'm done with this one, So then after that, it wasn't scary anymore, because I was like, well, a sheet defeats the Lord and Savior. Like rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, Jesus, sheet. Scissors cut sheet. Sheet defeats Jesus.
That's right. Well, okay, so... Yeah, no, what I find interesting about that is I always felt that some of the better scary movies were the ones that left more to the imagination. Because, come on, let's face it, your mind...
Way better.
It draws off of all the experiences you've had in life and is like, okay, I'm about to scare the crap out of you. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it's always better when left up to the imagination, I think. So then when they show the bad guy or the evil demon or whatever towards the end of movies, it loses me.
Wait a minute. I just realized something. We're never going to get an intro right, are we?
Well, why?
Well, okay, so the whole point of this is to let people know about the podcast.
Yeah.
What's the name of the podcast?
Yeah, this is the whole...
Yeah, but what's the name of it?
The whole... you're not going to get the whole episode right, or the whole file, or whatever you want to call it right then.
No. But that's cool.
But I suppose in the end, I mean, it's really, that's proof that it's just going to be a flow of consciousness. Whatever topic type deal, we're not going to constrain ourselves.
Literally, this is our premise,
it's our MO, man.
It's our
modus operandi.
What's a good word? Podium.
Shtick.
This is our platform.
Yeah.
Our platform is that we have no platform.
Yeah, there's no form.
Right. We're very free flowing.
No form, no class.
I don't know. No class? Really?
Yeah, no class.
We have a touch of class, but the problem is it's too much work to continue on with the class. I mean, at some point I feel like I have to change my voice to keep my class, and I can't do that.
Well, I mean,
It's too
we
much
could.
work.
Why not? We could do that. We.
Oh, I could try to do a whole hour that way. I could do the whole podcast in Stitch's voice. For all I care.
Nah, it would have to be like Stuffy Englishman hour.
Oh,
You know?
okay. A la Family Guy.
Long tooth.
Long tooth, the guy that ruins everything. Yeah. No, we probably could do that. Man, I tell you what, we could do an entire show on just Family Guy because more tidbits
TV
into us. We travel for a living. And without Family Guy, TBS in particular, running that crap in syndication, I would have lost my sanity years ago. Years ago. Because that has helped keep me sane on the road. I need a good laugh, especially after dealing with what we deal with day in and day out. So,
man, you gotta watch IT Crowd 2.
I do.
Not 2, like IT Crowd 2, the sequel,
As well,
but also
yeah.
TOO.
Oh,
IT
okay.
Crowd, you need to watch IT Crowd.
Mm-hmm.
That one's funny. You need to watch Better Off Ted. That one's funny.
I think I've seen that one.
And, Family Guy, and, just those types of shows are good. The Office.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because my wife and I enjoy watching, Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken. Yeah,
Yeah,
Robot Chicken's good.
I don't know, Breckenmeyer has something
Robot
special
Chicken.
there.
I wish they bring back... I want to see the old MTV's Liquid Television.
Oh
wanted
my
to re-air
gosh,
that stuff,
you remember
man.
Deathmatch?
Yeah, I remember Deathmatch.
That was awesome. Like, oh.
I don't remember what half the skits were called. There was the puppet lady. There was like puppets. I can't think of what her name was. There was Dog Boy.
Yep.
That was always just weird.
Yep.
I didn't enjoy that one so much, but they had the old Bill Plimpton animations on there.
Mm-hmm.
They had, I mean, man.
Yeah, but, it's funny. We talk about all that so fondly, and looking back on it, it's reality TV and things totally destroyed MTV.
Oh, yeah, it did.
The M in that television stands for what?
Meh.
Music.
Oh, I thought you meant now. Like
And
back
now,
then,
it stands for meh.
Meh.
But see, I wouldn't necessarily say that it was those great animations that brought it down.
No, the great animation didn't bring it down because they aired them at like midnight.
Yeah, it was late.
It wasn't
right?
prime time.
No.
Now if they play music, they play it at midnight, and all the prime time stuff is.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what it is now. I don't think it's
rubbish. I don't know what I do not. I have no idea.
you know what I think it is?
what-
It's scripted reality.
Okay, yeah, they got
I think
scripted
that's
reality.
what it is now. I would know that because of having teenagers.
Yeah,
So
any of this
I
stuff.
don't even think my kids watch MTV. I don't know how that channel is still around. Honestly,
No, I don't. Well, I mean, we could, we could talk, like, you got movies and TVs, comic books.
comic books. For
I
days.
did a bit of Marvel for a long time.
Uh-huh.
I did Marvel, but I've always been Image, though. I mean, as far back as I can remember, Image and Humanoids. Humanoid Publishing.
Yeah, I think I started out DC mostly because of Linda Carter's Wonder Woman, Adam West's Batman, and Super Friends, the cartoon.
Mayor Adam West.
Mayor Adam West.
Nobody messes with Adam Wee.
I love it.
Need more pieces for my light bright.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is good.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Adam West.
I'm
sorry. Now I'm remembering all of his one-liners.
He's running out, stabbing the ocean.
Oh, he's so great.
Taking payback. Stab.
Yeah, he's so good. But no, I was always mostly because of Super Friends. Wonder Twin Powers Unite.
Yeah. Solomon Grundy want pants too. Well, that was
Yeah.
on the spoofy thing.
But no, and I mean, children of the '80s. I think we can claim that. Which means most of the cartoons we grew up on was anime. I don't know how many people. I don't know how many people you have to point that out to.
Yeah.
If you watch Thundercats, Voltron, any of that stuff.
Thundercats? I mean, I see Voltron. I was big into Voltron.
That stuff was
Thundercats.
That stuff was all anime, whether it was Americanized or not.
He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe. Real
the
American
Snorks.
hero. Yep. Dude, we could go on for days. I mean, some of the weird Disney ones like Shirt Tails.
Yeah, Shirt Tails. I know about Shirt Tails. I had a Popple.
Mm-hmm. Well,
the
my
blue one.
sister had a Popple, but yeah.
I had a blue one.
Yeah.
My sister had the pink one.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. I never had a Popple.
Oh, yeah, man.
And then all that pop culture crap that came from that, Garbage Pail Kids with Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, love the Garbage Pail Kids.
But, no. And I'm a bit of a conundrum to most people because I follow sports and I retain all that stuff.
Well, see, that's good then, because I don't sports.
And I played sports, so most people are like, "You're a jock. You look like a jock, but you're not." Because I wasn't the typical, I wouldn't throw everything into it. Natural abilities being what they were. I didn't put all my time into that. I was busy reading my comic books and freaking J.R.R. Tolkien or whatever, reading some good literature.
I thought you were going to talk like WWE's JR.
Oh, dear.
That's a slobberknocker.
No, back when it was WWF. Let's get that WWF. Clear. WWF stood for World Wrestling Federation, not World Wildlife Federation or Fund. Yeah, I don't know how they lost out to that. How they
what are you going to do? Are you going to attack?
No, not at all. And see, that's what I like about this too. Oh no, go ahead.
No, I'm saying the wrestling federation. What are they going to do? Are they going to go in and body slam the pandas?
Yeah, no. Yeah, so I guess they just gave it up.
Ric Flair, you.
Yeah, but no, that is one thing that I think is cool about the way we discuss things as well. We never do it with malice, No. We might joke about how something annoys us, but I'm never gonna openly hate on something. I don't
know. Maybe.
Not too extreme.
Maybe.
All right, maybe a little.
Maybe a little bit.
We'll see. I don't know. We're not going to be very political on this show.
No.
Count on that.
No.
We're too lazy to discuss that.
I don't care about all that stuff. I don't like beating up art or other people's endeavors. So if I don't like something, I'll probably just shut up about it.
And I'll tell you right now, topics aren't going to be too taboo, but we're not going to try to approach it in a disrespectful way. Like if somebody brings up religion, I'm very open when it comes to religion.
Yeah.
I believe everybody should worship, the way they want to.
Whatever.
If you got a head of lettuce that has been in your fridge since 1983 and it's still crisp and green and you believe that it's been touched by a higher power and you pray to it, you got a little mat out in front of your refrigerator. All right, man. You believe in something. That's more than some people. So, hey, who am I to judge?
Yeah.
So, I'm very open that way. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really ascribe to. I would probably be more of an atheist than, I suppose, anything else. And because I don't believe in any of that. The man in the cloud stuff. I'll just say the man in the cloud stuff. Regardless of religion, a lot of them, have a man in the clouds, and if that's what they're into, great.
Yeah,
I don't care. It's fine.
And see,
it doesn't hurt anybody, so by all means, have at it.
Yeah, it's when it does hurt somebody, and it's like you claim to be Christian, but you're in no way, shape, or form following his example because you're being a tool bag.
Yeah, sometimes people can be tool bags, including myself. Sometimes I can be a tool bag.
Yeah, but
but it's
I don't know how often we'll get into the human condition on this show.
I don't know.
But that's part of life.
Yeah, it's a whole idea to just talk about comics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and...
Well, then we'll just be talking about hand-drawn soap operas. That's all they really are.
Yeah.
Dude,
I know,
I've read X-Men through the 80s and 90s. I know.
You know...
that it's a soap opera.
Well, a lot of them are, can follow that. Oh, and that may be, and,
when we're not busy saving the world, we're back at the mansion freaking sleeping with each other.
Oh, what was it, Rick? I think it was Rick Burchett.
Mm.
I want to say. It might have been Phil Hester.
Okay.
Was it Kansas City Comic Con? I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
In a panel with Kyle Strahm. And somebody said, well, you've been primarily doing a lot of your own stuff. You're a creator on comics.
Mm-hmm.
If given the chance, would you like to write like a mainstream character like Batman or Superman? And his answer was, no, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, why is that?
Yeah.
And his reply, and I think, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized that that's why I don't read these characters anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I read Superman and I read Batman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Batman wins. And they are really good characters in that, they're an excellent, like psychological studies,
sure.
To look at. But what he said
they're Americana, shoot.
Was, no, I would not want to write them because he said, a lot of people better than me have written them. So he said, the way that it works for me, though, is that when it comes to a character, you should read the stories about them that appeal to you.
Mm-hmm.
You then, in your mind, form your own idea of who this character is. And at that point, you're done. And I was like, that actually makes perfect sense because, like, I read Superman comics, and then after a while they got boring, and I realized it's because I had read up to the point where I have my own idea of Superman and who he is now, and so if I continue to read it, I'm just reading more of the same stories about this character, and it does, and they don't emotionally, they don't have the emotional impact or resonate anymore because I'm already there. And he said, so my idea of Superman already exists, so I don't need to write it. He's like, if I had an idea about Superman who as a character, I could write and present a new aspect of this character, then maybe I would.
Right.
But my ideal Superman stories have all already been written.
Okay.
So I don't want to.
So his, not even argument, but point is that...
point is...
Since it has established canon, not to be constricted or tied up by that canon. I mean, you look at some of the stuff that, Jim Lee drew it. Jeff Loeb wrote it. You look at some of the stuff that he did with Batman, like the Hush story arc. I mean, come on, man. Batman had been around he was very near to 70 years, I think, by that point, when Hush was written. He had to have been like 66 years old or something.
Yeah.
And along comes Jeff Loeb, very established character. Everybody knows his story.
Right.
I mean, you say Batman, immediately you go to this tortured, broken whack job that has a lot of money. Because he saw his parents killed in front of him. If you can't tell, I'm not a huge Batman fan, but all the respect in the world to Jeff Loeb for going back, messing with the history, and introducing a character that had never been mentioned before. And not so much rewriting history or the way this character thinks, but introducing somebody in a way that affected him in the present. The present day. That was some brilliant writing. Beautiful artwork by Jim Lee. Some of his best, as far as DC goes. I can't pinhole that man's work. But yeah, I mean, I loved it. It gave you everything. It gave you the Superman versus Batman. It gave you Batman versus almost every rogue in his,
Yeah.
that he could possibly face type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But just beautifully written. And
Yeah. I
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I see where he's coming from with his statement, because you read him and it becomes very formulaic, because
Superman's not going to punch Lex Luthor's head off. He's just going to put him in jail for the 900th time.
And yet some of the best stories have come from like what if alternate Earths or something like that, where he's done that.
Well, yeah, because that's why they're because it's not the
it's
same.
so out of character.
Yeah, it's not the same old.
Like the game Injustice 2 is getting ready to drop here pretty soon. Whole premise of that is the Joker set off a bomb in Metropolis, killing Lois Lane and I believe Superman's unborn child that was in her. And he loses his mind and punches a hole through his chest. I think rips his heart out or something.
Yeah.
Kills the Joker. And it's like, well, why are you going to put him in Arkham Asylum? He's just going to escape again, which has been questioned I don't know how many times. Arkham Asylum in the game, it was even questioned.
Yeah.
Did we mention that we
like
talk about games as well?
They just take... Yeah, it's like Arkham Asylum is like, okay, we're going to take all these really, really big bad guys and we're going to stick them on this island over here, and then we're just going to turn like a colander upside down on top of them. It's like a sieve. They just filter right back out.
You're supposed to have doctors in there that are trying to rehabilitate their minds, but
we all know insane.
How that
they all wind up minions of the Joker. And
Harley Quinn, right?
Yeah.
But no, yeah, we do. We're also gamers.
Yeah.
We failed to mention that. I have no idea how. Everywhere I go, I have my PS4 with me, so
yep, same deal.
It's a big thing for me. Not a huge Microsoft fan. Don't really care for Xbone. I tried it out back in the day. Could not get behind Halo. Didn't really care for it. I was never a big fan of the first-person shooters to where it was like Doom or Wolfenstein. And I think the thing that bothered me the most is you could see the barrel of your gun.
Yeah.
And to pick up your ammo, and I get it was restricted by animation of the day, so to speak.
Right.
But to grab your ammo, all you had to do was run over it and back up, and there you were.
Yeah.
Not a big fan.
No.
And that's kind of what
nothing
Halo
like Destiny.
Like.
Nothing like Destiny, where you've got the barrel of your gun and you run around and you step on ammo and then you go back to.
Touche. But I can press a button to reload my gun at least.
Well, okay. So you got to push a
button. And there's
the
animation for it.
That extra button's what got you, wasn't it?
And I'm in third person.
Oh, button pressy time.
I'm just saying.
What? You're in third person?
Yeah.
Oh, until you hold LT.
Right. Yeah. Well,
and then and so is that what every time you shout Wolfenstein mode and away you go?
And see, it wasn't until recently Borderlands. I blame Borderlands for really reintroducing me to the first-person shooter genre and making me put up with it again. But again, characterization, animation, just solid gameplay mechanics. Come on. I mean, it's not every, but most Nintendo games have solid gameplay mechanics and good stories. That's what makes them awesome. That's why you can sit through a little sprite-driven story of Zelda, Link, for hours on end.
Yeah, I'm glad they've expanded over the days. I mean, Mario wouldn't be able to just hold my attention for 25 years. Like the old NES games.
You mean just keep playing it till on your fourth playthrough everything's moving so fast, no chance?
Yeah, no chance. You're never going to get that one up on the top of the flagpole, buddy.
Nope. Nope. And by the time you get to World 8 and you're dealing with, what was it? World 1, you'd have the spikies running by as you kept playing through that. I was pretty good with Super Mario. I could actually beat a normal playthrough of that game with my feet. I could play it with my feet in, what was it, under 20 minutes. I could beat it. I mean, we're talking warp tunnels and the like, but still.
Yeah.
I would never touch the controller with my hands, just my feet. My kids still can't do that, so Game Master status is eluding them. Until they can do that, don't talk to me.
Poor little, yeah, scrubs. Well,
however, my daughter's pretty kick butt at Mario Kart.
There was a lot of nights where I would have friends over to stay the night, and we would play Rampage on the NES.
Oh,
until 6 in the morning, and then we'd lay down and go to sleep for 3 hours, wake up at 9 a.m., go eat a bowl of cereal, come back downstairs, and continue on with Rampage. Because you better not turn that off. You pause it, but you couldn't turn it off. You know, kids today, man, kids today, there's no saving back then, so you just had to hit pause to turn the TV off and get up the next day and sweat whether or not your console was going to have the blue-purple screen or whatever.
The joys of cartridges. Oh my gosh, yes, I played a game.
Not cartridges, just shoddy hardware. Joys of shoddy hardware. That's how it was back then.
I played a game called Faxanadu. Some people might have to look this one up, but there was no real way to save in that game. You had to leave the gaming console on. Yeah. And there were no guidebooks back then. Games. There was no Nintendo Powers or whatever the game guides were called. I forget. Gaming. Yeah, I mean,
thank God for modern gaming. Dude, vintage gaming's cool.
There was no internet to go and say, okay, what do I do next? I mean, if the game's design flaw was that it didn't give you a clear picture of what your quest was, you were screwed. Literally.
Well, Nintendo's come out and they've publicly acknowledged the fact that the vast majority of their old NES games are practically so impossibly hard for the average user to beat because they did not allow for outside quality testing. So literally the people who play tested the games or the people who built the games, and they would spend all day building the game and then would play it for dozens of hours and be like, this is way too easy, and so they would make it harder, and then they would play through it and be like, this is still too easy, and they'd make it harder.
Oh, good heavens.
And then whenever they would unleash these games on the public, people would be screaming at their TVs and throwing controllers and junk. And it wasn't intentional. It was simply that Nintendo did not allow for outside quality testing and made their engineers play test the games.
Oh, man. Okay.
So that's what you get.
Yeah, and see a little video gaming history about me. First console, well, I should say, was a Tandy computer. So I used to play the textually based games. Zork, The Hobbit. Took me forever to figure out Open Green Door. And then ColecoVision. Yeah. Atari.
Burger Time.
It was an
Combat,
Atari
baby.
2600.
Combat.
Yeah. I know my favorite game of all time, and I still have this game. Berserk. I could play that game forever. Knew all the tricks. Loved it.
Yeah, pro wrestling on the NES. It's one dude that looked like the swamp creature, and his special move was bite your face.
Yep. And Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Before he bit anybody's ear off.
Yep. Every character, I didn't notice, every character you played at in the game had both ears.
Yes.
All the way through, ears.
Yep. That was a given. However, I can never figure out, why did Little Mac wear a pink hoodie when he was training? What was that?
I don't know. It probably had to do with the color palette they had available in the game. You can only get so many colors out of 8-bits, I guess.
I can see that.
8-bit cartridge. Well, I mean, you got movies, games, TV shows, comic books. We'll talk about.
We can talk to music, not to the
like
degree.
A little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say not to the degree or level that my wife can. She has this amazing ability that would make us millionaires, because if you put her on a game show that's like Name That Tune, give her 3 notes. I swear, late at night, laying in bed, like people do pillow talk or something. I'll be on YouTube. 3 notes. She can name the freaking song. She's amazing.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not too bad at picking out patterns and like repeated tunes and stuff. So I noticed when other songs are sampled a lot.
Oh yeah.
There's I'm trying to think. There's somewhere. It's like a Lady Gaga song or something had the same bass beat, notes, and sound as this old Stereo MC song, and I've played them. I can't think it. I don't remember if it's Lady Gaga or not. I'm sure I could find it real easy because I've still got it on my phone. But I'm like, if you listen to this song and you listen to Stereo MCs, keep yourself
It's got the
connected.
same rhythm, huh?
That bonk that's in the background is the exact same rhythm and noise. I was like, no, it is the same thing. And just little stuff. So like music, yeah. I'm a big music nerd, but my problem is I hate the radio. Yeah. So I have to stream everything because I can't take radio DJs.
Really?
Yep. It's the DJs that kill it for me. It's not even the commercials.
So you don't listen to like the morning shows or anything?
Nope.
Really?
Not at all. I get in my car, and that's the thing. I'll get in my car, and I drive to work, and I play music off of my phone. Even if it's like Google Play Music, I'll tune into radio stations, that other people curate. I'll listen to that stuff. On my drive to work, then when I get to work and I'm on lunch, I can listen to the radio because all the DJ talk is over. Mm-hmm. And then on the drive home, I have to switch back to my streaming music because if I listen to the radio, there's too many DJs talking, and I can't take it.
Wow. Yeah, see, but that's odd. I mean, we've been to the four corners of this great nation, and you've never once found a DJ, or have you just never given them the chance?
No, like there are times where I will, and it's not that I haven't given them the chance. I just don't like them.
You don't have the patience.
I don't have the patience for it. Yeah. There's Dave Cross had an old stand-up where he pointed out, and I thought it was hilarious because I'd noticed it but never really
been able to
thought about it. Thought about it like I've noticed it, and but it didn't occur to me in the humorous sense that he had pointed it out. But he said, hey, like I'm going on tour and I'm promoting my shows, and so I got to get on the radio. Mm-hmm. And he says every time I go somewhere, the local radio station, I've always got to go on and do an interview or a spot or something. And every morning I get on these radios at 8 a.m. and every station across America, there's that one guy that talks like this and the other guy that talks like this. And they've always got crazy names like I'm the Bandit and I'm the Gator. That's and so I was cracking up. I was like, that's actually the truth. There's always there's like the gravelly voice guy who's the crazy guy, and he's always the crazy guy. And I was like, yeah, that's actually kind of true, but the banter that they usually have in the morning just doesn't work for me. The most I ever got was 98.9 The Rock, Johnny Dare.
Oh yeah.
I was able to roll with that for a while, and I get exposure to it, and that's why I know that I still can't do it, because out of respect for my coworkers, when we have to drive in the morning, I don't want to inflict my music taste on them, because I'm not going to let them inflict their music taste on me. So as a compromise, we'll listen to the radio, and I spend most of my time just banging on the seat button early in the morning on drive to work, because there's that, hey everybody. Today we're going to be talking about, crazy things that happened on Friday at the bar while we were all sitting around drinking at work. You're like, oh, no.
Yeah, my radio station's been locked onto a rock station, and I can't tell you who the morning show is. When I lived in Colorado...
Long time listener.
Yeah.
Never pay attentioner.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
When I lived in Colorado,
you replace your favorite radio station with an air conditioner, just
you could. The one show that I truly did enjoy, like every morning, was called Lewis and Floor Wax. But they were
Floor Wax is the name of the other DJ.
Yeah, Floor Wax.
You talk like this.
No, they both sounded like normal guys.
Oh, okay.
But they were both comedians. I still remember to this day. I mean, they used to put together some of the best little soundbite type things. They did one where I think it was when episode 2 of Star Wars came out. They were like, okay, here's Star Wars in 90 seconds. Freaking awesome. If I can find it online, I will play it for the masses at some point. And then they had another one where it was
Giving herself
Shaquille
homework.
O'Neal. Mm-hmm. Shaquille O'Neal shows up at what's his name? Going off the rails on a crazy train.
What?
Bites the heads off of bats is what everybody
Ozzy
says.
Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Shaquille O'Neal and Ozzy Osbourne?
Shows up to Ozzy Osbourne's house looking for Kobe Bryant, or was trying to explain to him who he was, type of thing. It is the most hilarious back and forth you've ever heard. And so they do this kind of stuff. And one of their greatest things that they ever did, they faked that they were the assistant to
the manager.
Who's the gal that used to co-anchor the Today Show?
What?
Back during 9/11.
Co-anchor the Today Show.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
You had Matt Lauer and
Katie
Couric. Thank you. Oh no, that's what it was. They were talking to her aide, and one of them did a really good Tom Brokaw impersonation. And so
Tom Brokaw, like, is that Dana Carvey style? Like, is that dude Dana Carvey used to do? He had that amazing skit. Was it Tom Brokaw where he?
No, he used to do George Bush.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Tom Brokaw. Gerald Ford dead today.
Oh, did he do that?
Beaten by wolves.
Maybe.
Why am I saying that? They're like, you're the one that wanted to go on vacation. Read the lines.
Yeah. No, it was it was really good. So they had Katie Couric's aide on there, and they were talking about, like, well, we just wanted to, the wife wanted to figure out what time she would be by for dinner when she's back in town, and they're like literally passing through LAX or something like that, or maybe it was, one of the ones on the East Coast or something. I forget, but they got Katie Couric on the phone through the aide, and they were like, "Oh man, we apologize. This is not Tom Brokenjaw. This is Lewis and Floorwax out of Denver." She's like, "Oh my gosh, you guys!" And they were like, "Please, please, please, don't be upset with your aide because." He does a really good impersonation, so don't hold it against her. And she's like, "Oh, no, that's fine. You guys are hilarious." I mean, she was very genuine and cool about it all. Mm-hmm. But oh my gosh, dude, I was either late for class when I was going to college, or
along with everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, late for work, or I was just late for wherever I was going because I was sitting in my car and continued to listen. And I mean, I could only hope that right now somebody is sitting in their car or waiting in the gym before they go change their clothes because they are so engrossed in this awe-inspiring message that we're sharing with them.
Yeah.
About...
No.
This is practically Seinfeld. We talk about nothing.
Yeah.
But it's everything to them.
Yeah. I don't know how long that's been going.
Who knows?
Maybe I'll just, in hindsight, like working backwards, so I'll just randomly edit, like, just start cutting right in the middle of sentences. It's got to go for time. We'll give it all. Here's what we'll do. I'll edit the heck out of this podcast, and then we'll release it as
the B-sides.
No, it'll be the two lazy guys intro. Batman vs Superman edition, and then later on we'll release the Ultimate edition with all the shit put back in so that it all makes sense.
Yeah, it just keeps. Yeah, so eventually one day the intro will completely make sense, and someday, one day, we'll get an intro right.
Nope. You know what we'll do? We'll take. Maybe we'll get around. I don't know. Maybe record a proper intro, and then we'll cut it up into like 5 or 6 bits, right? And then we'll put them at the end of podcasts like they used to do with figures back in the day, and then you have to assemble all of the pieces of the podcast.
Like the Marvel Legends.
Yeah, like the Marvel Legends, like that character you get to build it yourself.
We're all about giving you guys homework. We're terrible. We thrive off of the suffering of others, your sweet tears.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, So, you know, you can expect movies.
Yep.
Music, TV. Well, I like a little bit of music. I listen to some obscure stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
TV shows.
Dr. Demento.
Not like in a pretentious way, but just as a result of... Time. Not because, like, I'm pretentious. Like, I have to listen to the music. You've never heard of the bands I listen to. Oh. It's more because, like, I can't stand DJs. So I don't listen to mainstream music. So it's not that I have pretentious music taste. It's that I'm intolerant.
Well, and I think perhaps that's why our personalities mesh so well. We are both very eclectic in our tastes on everything.
Yeah. I mean, games. You know what you should play? Do you PC game?
Yeah.
Have you played Dr. Langeskov?
I haven't. I saw that you
the Cursed
threw
Emerald.
That out to somebody, and I'm like,
you gotta play that because it's free.
Mm-hmm.
You get it on Steam. It's free, and the entire premise of the game, like
Steam plug,
Steam plug. You can play the game, and it's like what happens is you're in a game that breaks. You're in a game that breaks, and you get shunted behind the scenes.
You were explaining that.
And so you're helping the director behind the scenes. Like, you're behind the walls, pulling the levers and letting junk go for another player who's already in the game. So, like, you hit... The game breaks. So there's a player going through the game, and the director is telling you what to do. Okay, it's time. Pull this lever. And so, you pull the lever or whatever, and you can go through the whole game and, like, all the... Just get it. Flawless victory or whatever. But on my playthrough, I did nothing but grief the director. He's like, okay, when the light comes on, push this button. And you're like, okay, and the light comes on. And I just stand there, and he's like, push the button. Push the button. Why are you pushing the button? Oh my God, you're ruining this. And so he begins to get angrier at you as you go through this. And I spent the entire game just griefing the director. I wouldn't pull buttons. Or he'd be like, okay, whenever this light... There's one point where you're supposed to, release the tiger in the game. And he's like, okay, whenever the player comes in, they reach a certain point, you hear a buzzer go off, you release the tiger. And so, I was standing there, I just immediately went, ka-chunk, tiger button. Or what? No, it was what it is you're supposed to release the tiger, and then you push the tiger recall team button afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So that they go out and catch the tiger and reset it for the next player to come through. And I immediately jammed the tiger recall team button, because it's like, I'll do these out of order. And you can hear in the background, these dudes running around like, oh, I'm going to go get the tiger. You pushed it too early. All right, reset. And so then the tiger recall team is angry that you push the button. You can hear them bitching through the walls. And the whole game is like that. But that's pretty good. It's like, it says it's a 15-minute game, but it took me like 2 hours to get through because I just ran around doing everything wrong.
Awesome.
And so I highly recommend it because it's a great griefing experience.
Yeah, no, that does sound like a pretty good time.
But, we played Destiny. I played a lot of GTA 5.
Yes. Well, GTA 5.
Years later.
Talking about griefing and gaming, geez. I told you about my love-hate relationship with Rockstar on that, right? I played that on PS3. I enjoyed it very much.
5?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They promised us online, within the year that it was released. So we heard about it, heard about the design of it, how it was going to work, heists.
Yeah.
Because you get a taste of that in the end game of GTA 5.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, so this is what it's going to be like, because the end game, I mean, you played through the story and finished it, no?
I played, yes, on all the GTA games.
Yes. So 5, the end heist, multifaceted, just excellent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, if this is what we get out of GTA, awesome. We waited 2 years. 2 years before the game was patched with anything that resembled online.
See,
I was angry.
Yeah.
I practically, in my own stupid fashion, boycotted. Rockstar because of that, and I did not join the online thing for
Too bad.
a long time. Long time.
We'll see. That's my bonus is being a broke, lazy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you may recall it took me about 2 years to get around to buying it.
Yes.
Because I waited. I was like, well, I got to wait till it goes on sale. I'm not going to spend $60 on it. So I waited till I found it at GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a GameStop. It's a used game store.
Right.
Local one. And they had it for $35. Which at the time was like unheard of.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, even now it still goes on sale. It just started going on sale for 50% off, which made it $30.
Right.
In the last 2 months, like as of the like the winter sale, really, like back in December.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it really hit the first time ever 50% off. Before that, it was only 40.
True.
And that's how many years has this been out?
Dude, in the age of microtransactions,
Yeah.
Rockstar is milking this thing for all it's worth. Have we heard one
It's a
single
cow.
word about GTA 6?
Nothing. They got like 5 guys working on it, I'm sure. You know, they're just drawing sketches on paper.
I'm sure most of their studio's been plugging away on Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so, dang it.
No, I don't know. I fear
need me
deeply.
some cowboy goodness.
I fear deeply for Red Dead 2.
Why?
Because it's gonna be it's gonna be GTA 5 online out of the gate. It's gonna be like, to me, I'm afraid it's gonna be like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, not Call of Duty like Modern Warfare, but like Battlefield 1, where you go, oh cool, and the single player is gonna be like a freaking tutorial basically.
Yeah, you don't think they're gonna give any love to single player?
Not on the scale that they did for Red Dead. I don't think
They have to.
No, they don't.
They have to.
They don't though.
If
That's not what people buy. People are just buying.
no, everybody bought that game for the story.
Yeah, no.
They didn't buy it for the online aspect. You know,
But
I'll
what's
tell
the
you
poster
this.
for Red Dead 2? What is the poster for Red Dead 2? The Lone Cowboy?
John Marsden.
What's on the poster for Red Dead 2?
Oh, 2.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The initial propaganda shows like 8 cowboys. All the propaganda before the game's even launched
Is multiplayer
revolves around multiplayer. Yeah, I'm telling you. That's why I'm worried about it. All the propaganda I've seen, at least, revolves around multiplayer. I want another story like John Marston.
Yes, absolutely.
That is like the best story ever for me.
And this might be a good time
I was
to
like,
take the
I'm getting all
opportunity.
misty-eyed at the end.
He dies at the end. This is not a spoiler-free show.
No. Yeah.
You like how I did that?
Yeah.
He dies at the end. Not spoiler-free.
No, there's no trigger warnings. No spoiler alerts, probably. No, I really don't care. I mean,
We're going to assume... no, I'm not going to put on the front of this every episode warning this is a non-spoiler free zone.
no, you just put non-spoiler free zone at in the description for the entire show.
Yeah, you can take the time to read it. I'm too lazy to say it.
Yeah, I'll probably get around to typing it up one day. Because if whatever the title is or the subject matter is for the episode, you can assume we're going to talk about it.
That's right.
Like you've been exposed to it completely.
See, and that's why we can talk a little bit more about the name of the show. Two Lazy Guys obviously refers to Dave.
Yeah, I'm so lazy. I'm lazy enough for the both of us.
And myself. But
workaholic.
We put colon, which is hilarious that we finally realized because we kept saying semicolon. I'm not sure why.
No.
I did.
Maybe that was you.
I kept saying that.
Yeah, it's
because I'm a moron.
It's full colon.
All right. I was born and raised in California. Not very good at speaking the English. I'll be upfront about that. It was taught. I went to ESL classes. Most Californians realize and know ESL stands for English Second Language.
Oh.
Because everybody I went to school with either spoke Spanish, Hmong, Cambodian, Laotian, every other language under the sun, Armenian. They didn't speak English. When they went home, their parents were speaking their native tongue, so they came to school and they were learning ESL. When I went to classes, since I already spoke English, they'd sit me down in front of a cheap computer and have me play Oregon Trail. for like an hour every day.
Oh, you just died of cholera all the time.
Yeah, I did. Dysentery, cholera, all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever learn what a superlative or adjective or adverb was?
Mm-hmm. I forgot.
My entire education. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking elementary, middle, and high school. No.
Uh-huh.
I got to college. I'm taking an English 101 class or something like that, and the professor is questioning me about...
openly.
Oh my gosh, questioning me about what a superlative is, and I'm like, what language are you speaking?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Latin.
What are you talking about? I mean, by this point, I had already been able to talk all these languages, mm-hmm. all these other languages. Mm-hmm. I replaced my Spanish with Portuguese.
You talked them all.
Conversationally, yes, I did. It was good. You had to, because you'd go over to your friend's house to play or something, and that's all they were talking. Uh-huh. So it's like, if you wanted to go to the bathroom and your friend wasn't around, and you wanted to ask Uncle Charlie or their mom or whoever's around, can I go to the bathroom? You'd have to say it in Cambodian. You'd have to say it in Hmong. I mean, it's just being around the culture that much. So
you didn't just break it out and start peeing wherever and then waited till they shoved you into the appropriate room?
Like everybody else? Yeah. No, I didn't.
Oh, not here. Not here.
No?
There's a specialized room just for this, you said.
Right, yeah. Not on the Pandao. Move over to the next room. Yeah. So, yeah. And by that point, like I said, I had replaced my Spanish with Portuguese because Portuguese is better. Great. We just lost all our Spanish listeners. But
you got the Portuguese.
I got the Portuguese. Mm-hmm. Yes. Beleza. Yeah, if you want me to break into Portuguese anytime, I can flip it on and off like a switch. But so freaking, that was kind of the issue that I had, is not so good at the English, and the punctuation will escape me. So if in the early days of this podcast I was saying semicolon, it's honestly because I am that ignorant.
Well, that's all right. We can work.
Because I didn't learn it.
Yeah, you can work with ignorant.
No, I didn't learn it.
It's willful ignorance or stupidity is where we're going to start hitting rough patches.
Oh dear.
I just refuse.
Sheesh.
So it could be an interesting ride, I guess.
But yeah, so it's two lazy guys,
movies.
So that we can discuss whatever topic
whenever
floats through our brains.
Yeah, it'll probably never be politics, though. I don't keep up enough. I don't keep up enough.
Unless we're talking about when Lex Luthor ran for president. Nah.
Oh, man, you mentioned Superman earlier going crazy, and it made me think of Irredeemable. Yeah, Irredeemable.
Oh, yeah, that was an Image one, right?
Man, no.
Was it a Dark Horse?
No.
What was that? I remember that comic.
Boom. It's
Boom. Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's Boom.
Man, that was kind of short-lived. Is that still around?
No, it was a really long series, like in terms of issues,
right?
For a mini series, but they
were cranking them out like crazy.
It wasn't an ongoing. It went through like 10 or 11 trades, I think, something like that. But yeah, like the entire premise of that, which I would recommend to any listeners over 18, because it is a dark comic book, but it is. Literally, if Superman went batshit crazy.
Right.
Just crazy. And it's great because it's sort of like, do you remember it?
I do.
Where it's sort of like the JLA, but the JLA has to go into hiding, and the only place they can hide is like these pockets that are literally soundproofed because he can hear their heartbeats. Like if they were to step outside these areas without using some sort of teleportation, then he would immediately find them and within a second be on them, like trying to murder them. I was like, wow, this, and it's a really imaginative series, so I like that one. You know, all the old stuff. But
yeah, and see, it's amazing how we can always come back to a topic because, again, you take all those abilities and powers and reimagine them, and you got something that feels original, but honestly, it's just telling the story of what would happen if this guy were bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, DC's done that.
Well, but the best Superman, not even Superman story. There's my favorite Superman story ever, and there may be other ones like it, but this one is mine. That is All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison. Yeah, Grant Morrison and
that was
Frank
a story
Quietly.
that revolved around him having cancer, more or less. He got irradiated by the sun.
Super saturated by Lex Luthor tricked him up into going basically right up against the sun, and it caused him to get super saturated to the point where his cells were just slowly rupturing.
Right.
And so he was dying. And what I really liked the most about it was almost a Lex Luthor story, because it was finally all of the Superman comic books and stories I'd read over the decades were, Lex Luthor was, like, I'm gonna take over the world, Superman, type, maniacal, yeah, like Gene Hackman, Lex Luthor, and the Lex Luthor.
Not saying that he's bad, but
no, yeah, Gene Hackman's cool. He was in The Quick and the Dead, and I really liked him in The Quick and the Dead.
Booyah.
But the fact that Lex Luthor in that comic, whenever he got his chance to monologue, wasn't like, I want to take over Metropolis and Superman slow me down. It was...
He was talking about him
Superman,
as an alien.
Yeah, Superman is holding back humanity. It's not that he wanted... Lex Luthor wasn't trying to take over the world. He thought Superman was solving humanity's problem and keeping humanity from evolving. And so he wanted him out of the way. And I was like, I can sort of respect that. I could agree with that, though, because it wasn't some just, psychopathic, megalomaniacal reason to take over the planet or whatever. He even, and that goes into the idea where, regardless of what, somebody's doing, as crazy as it sounds, in their mind, it might be the right thing to do. You know what I mean? Just the way, to go back to politics, because we're not going to talk about it, but, when both sides disagree, the pro-life is right, or pro-choice is right, or anything else, to them, neither one, the side that is championing those ideas, to them it's the right thing to do. The other side might completely disagree, but you have to at least acknowledge the fact that in their mind, they believe they're doing the right thing.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how
some Lex good Luthor, storytelling typically too. Yeah,
and that's how Lex Luthor is.
Yeah.
And which is why I like it so much, is because
interesting thing about
you can empathize with that.
Even though I am a Superman fan, that's when you're talking about like big heroes and stuff like that. But my all-time favorite, like, if you ask me, top 5 superpowers, what are you gonna have? Flash. And we're talking like Silver Age Flash, because I'm a Barry Allen fan.
Yes, Barry Allen.
Wally West.
You like the Doughboy hat? It's the Doughboy thing, isn't it? The little helmet he wears.
No, well, no, that. No. Barry.
Oh no,
Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking.
I went too far back.
Yeah, he's not silver, is he? Am I getting my ages mixed up?
Oh no, I thought the Silver Age was the one with the metal Doughboy looking hat.
I don't think Barry's considered gold.
I'm not a big DC guy, so.
Yeah. No, but anyways.
Regardless.
Yeah. Barry Allen, because then you had Wally West, and I have issue number 1 of Flash, Wally West. I wish I had issue number 1 of Barry Allen, because I'm a huge fan of him.
Oh.
Huge fan of him.
You're going to sell it. For
maybe for my kids' school education, but no, I mean, love that. But yeah, I mean, I'm always going to pick Superman over Batman. That's the way it is. But if I had to go with
That's because
the
he has no
hero.
third act, right? You just love the fact that he doesn't have a third act.
Who?
Don't Superman. When's his third act?
When? I don't know. That's why I'm more of a Flash fan, because he's a deeper character. What's his third act? Man, that's a good question.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, it's a comic book.
They've done
it. Drive on. What? When?
They've done it. Well, that's the problem, though. It's
Kingdom
been in the
Come?
stories like...
Kingdom Come, maybe? Might be the closest.
It's been in those stories like those.
Yeah, that might be the closest we've got.
That you were just talking about with Grant Morrison. See, Grant Morrison's done a lot of good work.
Yeah,
with
maybe.
X-Men and the like.
Well, but Grant Morrison he's polarizing in his work, even, like, for me. I like Grant Morrison's work a lot. Like, I love The Invisibles.
Mm-hmm.
And, but then there's stuff like The Seven Soldiers where I was like,
My son started reading because of his work with Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called when he did Spider-Man? Shoot.
I can't. No. I know the arc you're talking about.
Was it Ultimate? It was Ultimate Spider-Man, wasn't it?
No. Was it? No.
I think it was.
Whenever they did the Ultimate series, because Mark Millar did the X-Men.
Grant Morrison, I believe, did Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay.
We should really have a computer open and fact checking. Mm-hmm. We gotta learn how to do that.
Figure out shit for me.
I have like 2 or 3 of those at home.
Yeah, well, you can just.
I should travel with a small one.
Have you seen that? The commercial with Jeff Bridges, I think it is. He's like in drones. Jeff Bridges is like sitting in his house.
Yeah.
And the drone flies up with a drink for him, and he's like, "Oh yeah." Then he takes a drink, and then another drone flies up because he's reading the newspaper, and a drone flies over and turns the page on the newspaper. It's like him doing jack squat. Like that'd be me if I could. It sounds like you if you got Alexas in every room. You're like, Alexa.
No, that is because my wife has been an Amazon Prime member for the past 70 years.
No. Yeah,
so,
us too.
I mean, she jumped on the Alexa bandwagon when it was what do you call it? When it was in the beta or whatever. What's wrong?
Oh.
What happened?
Nothing. It occurred to me. I was like, I don't know how long this intro is right now. Like an hour and a half?
I don't know.
God damn it. I'm gonna have to cut something out.
I'll
edit this one, but I'm gonna cut 15 minutes out. It's just gonna be gone.
You know where it's gonna be? It's gonna be like the 15 minutes right in the middle when we actually talk about and 2 lazy guys, Dave and Jerry.
Yeah. See if you can find the 15 minutes I cut out. The 15 minutes that was the most critical.
What was I just looking up?
What Alexa's beta name was called?
No.
Or Amazon's beta name was called?
Spider-Man, Grant Morrison.
Beta Ray Bill.
Spider-Man. And I'm just going to go plus.
Yeah, we got to cover some movies because there's a couple movies you haven't seen.
I'll get to them.
That really just make me not want to I just don't want to look you in the eye.
Get to them. Again, it was probably the 2 years.
I'm going to avert my gaze. I'm just going to... The best you'll get is I'll look at your beard.
Well, you need to
I won't look any higher.
You need to give me these things.
All right, man. I'll get you the disc when we get back home because I have all those on disc. I mean, I bought the DVDs back in the day. I wore out my VHS tapes.
Wait a minute.
I don't wanna. I want to go to bed.
I'm getting there too. Wait, was it not Grant Morrison?
I don't think so.
Well, who the heck
Grant Morrison did the new X-Men.
Yeah, I remember that. He did Xavier's sister and all that stuff.
Alright, whatever.
And all the... He did the twin girls and...
Alright, whatever.
Oh, crap. We were just... Was it Ultimate?
No, I don't know.
Alright, I gotta look it up now. Ultimate Spider-Man.
Well, regardless. Well, and I plan on doing some stuff at Comic Cons, because I go to those.
Mm-hmm.
I like to go to a bunch if I can every year. Fortunately, the Kansas City area is fairly convenient. based out of the Kansas City location there. So I got Planet Comic Con, Kansas City Comic Con.
Oh my gosh,
Free State Comic Con.
Brian Michael Bendis.
Oh, Brian Michael Bendis.
My bad.
It doesn't matter. I mean, Brian Michael Bendis writes everything.
Yeah, but
I think he writes like I thought at one point it was ludicrous, like he was writing 17 Marvel titles.
Good gosh.
Like at the same time,
Like all the Ultimate books?
Oh no, he writes all sorts of crap. He writes Spider-Man and like the Avengers. He was writing the X-Men. The dude's writing practically everything that Marvel is publishing for a while.
So,
especially after that big Avengers disassemble, like after then it was just BMB all over the place.
Here's a good question for you then. Favorite mainstream writer, and then favorite comic book writer. Because for me, mainstream, Chris Claremont, hands down, Uncanny X-Men.
Mainstream writer, like comic writer?
X-Men, yes.
Like favorite mainstream comic writer.
See, I have to say mainstream because we all have a favorite Dark Horse writer, if you will.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Not referring to the Dark Horse publisher, but...
I don't know. Mainstream would probably be... I don't know. That's not really fair. I mean, there's like my brain would begin to melt. Yeah, I mean, because
there's a bunch of them, but me, hands down, Chris Claremont. And I have one of his Extreme X-Men books signed by him. And he was a huge, or still is, he is a huge Storm Aurora
He came to
Monroe
Planet Comic Con.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was at Planet Comic Con not too long ago. 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was probably traveling. Stupid job.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. There's like no way I could... There's no way.
Then we might have to do an entire show.
I mean, there's no way.
Picks his favorite writer.
Yeah, it's just an hour-long episode.
You'll make a list.
Yeah. But then, I mean, there's no way. It would just be an hour of me, like...
Yeah, because, I mean...
riding the fence. You'd have to put a saddle on that fence. I would just ride
Jeff
it.
Loeb. I love his... Pretty much, he did so much good work. He did Grey Hulk.
But see,
blew it out of the water.
I don't think of guys like mainstream in comic writers.
No, why is that?
Because half of them have like creator-owned crap they do on the side. So even though they're like, I'm a mainstream writer and like they write Marvel, they also have shit that they publish at Boom or Valiant or IDW or...
We have a show.
You're gonna write that one down. You better hang on to that. Down. You're gonna use up a whole sheet of your hotel room notepad. You only get like 2 pieces of paper with those, right?
7. I counted.
Did you? Okay.
Well, I went down and we thought I was gonna get the mystical, like the one that they pulled all of them off of. No.
Yeah.
She handed me this thing and it's 7 sheets.
Somebody else told me that they've been in hotel rooms where they get no cardboard. So that means to me they do in fact order like 100 pad. They order 100 pages and then they tear off 5 to 7 at a time.
Have to. See, and again, we could do an entire show just around hotels.
Well, I'm sure.
Because how many have we stayed in? Well, most of them
Hundreds.
would be Marriott properties, but
Hundreds.
still.
Yeah.
Did I ever show you my card collection? About
I've got one that's
IHG and
Yeah,
every freaking
there's like essentially like my hotel / car rental / airline reward card stack is like 3-4 inches tall.
My goodness. Yeah. My Avis and National and
there's no way. Yeah, there's no way I could be like, this one.
Really?
I mean, no.
Well, yeah, see, that sounds like a challenge. So.
Yeah, because Grant Morrison, okay, sure. Mark Miller, yeah, okay.
Oh, dear.
I mean, it's like I could just go down the Garth Ennis. Yeah. How about me? One? No. I love them all. They're like my children. I love them all the same. Well, secretly, this one's my favorite.
I was going to say, that's what we're going to have to name that show. 2 lazy guys.
Secretly, this one's my favorite.
Yes. Secretly, I love this one more than the others.
Yeah, don't tell your siblings, but I love you more. Or the most.
How is this? This is your pen. Like,
Yeah,
how did
my
this
pen.
Residence Inn pen get in a town place?
Cross pollination. Probably the same owner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can talk about the writers and the artists all day long.
Oh, the artists, don't get me started.
So,
I mean, as an artist, I can't pick a
no.
particular style over the other because, I mean, geez, there's so many different styles that I can appreciate.
Yeah, well, but it's got to fit
And
the
it's the same
title.
for writers,
It's got to fit
honestly.
the title, and it's got to fit. Now, there's some styles I don't like. There's some styles.
No,
There's
I'm
styles
right
I
there
can't
with
get
you.
into.
McGinnis. Okay, you had some really good stories on the Superman Batman run. I could not get behind McGinnis's rounder, stockier artwork.
I know who you're talking about. I wasn't sure the name, but you were like Batman versus Superman, and then you said rounder.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about now.
Well, yeah, it was the Superman Batman series.
It almost
from
felt
few
like
years ago.
a soft manga version of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Chibi, almost, yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
I mean,
oh, no.
I respect you for having your own style, but for the story that was being told,
Yeah,
I don't think
but that goes
you-
into the realm where I'm like, I'm
I
just
don't
not
think you
going to talk
married.
about it.
Yeah, I don't think you married the.
They're like, it
right
didn't
artist.
work for me.
But that's my opinion.
The end.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
You may love it.
Everybody else in the world can
And
love it.
I've written
Not a fan.
some reviews on some comic books and stuff that I've published online, and even whenever I was like, I didn't really dig this title, but if you're a fan of this, this, and this, then you should check it out because you might like it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, no, this is terrible and everyone should avoid it.
And what was it?
Because who am I to say?
When Marvel did a run of titles and they decided to make them more.
When Marvel did a run of titles,
Yeah.
that's...
They decided to make them more true to real life type of thing. Like Fantastic Four.
Superman made it one issue before everybody's like, Clark Kent,
Marvel.
Superman,
This is Marvel.
and then everything exploded.
Yeah. The Fantastic Four title was simply called Four.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, in the first issue, everything is around them
Like in a
struggling to
cube
keep
farm.
the Baxter building running.
Yeah.
And they're, like, in the red, getting ready to go bankrupt. Like, just real-world problems all across the board. I remember reading the Spider-Man book, and it was like, after he'd have a battle with somebody, he's like shattered collarbone and like all kinds of issues. He wasn't better in the next one. He was seriously beat to crap. And I just remember the artist being perfect for that because it was Terry Dobson. And just
Terry
anatomy.
Dodson, Terry, and...
Anatomy was phenomenal in that book.
What's his wife? Rachel.
Rachel.
Terry and Rachel Dodson. You know, they were at San Diego Comic-Con in 2012, and I bought a poster from them that was Harley Quinn, and she was done up in Nolan style.
When can I see it?
It's hanging in my game room. You can see. I'll send you a picture of it.
Yeah, I got to see that. Yeah, no, they.
I was like, I gotta have it.
understanding-
I said, and what was funny is, I was like, you got number one? Because they had a big stack. They said, we only did a limited run of 100. And I said, you got number one? They said, no, somebody bought that. And I said, well, then give me the one off the bottom 100. And they were like, why? I said, because if I can't have the first one, I want the last one. And they were like, oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. So they rummaged it out for me.
That's cool. Yeah, that's neat. No, I mean, I really enjoyed those books. I'm pretty sure they ended all that because it almost existed in its own universe.
You know, Terry Dodson's still publishing comics. Rachel's probably working on with him. They got one through Image called Red One.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know they did work on Wonder Woman for a while. That looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, Diana hadn't looked that good
They
in
got
years.
something else coming out, too, that they're doing.
Probably.
It's not out yet.
Yeah.
I saw it on the Image. Not previews, but like the previews. But it's months out, like April or May or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, God, like Jonathan Hickman. Jonathan Hickman's a great writer.
Mm-hmm. So, as
Anyway.
a capper to this, do you want to try to do the summation?
Just shut up.